Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Interior Auto Mechanic. Today, we have a very special package in front of us. Now, before we get too far into it, I do want to tell you that this video is a sponsored video from this company right here. It's WK Motorsport. And basically, I had reached out to them because I was looking for a shifter, a different type of shifter setup for the Yaris, the track Yaris that we've been building, Project Slow Kart. And they were gracious enough to give me a discount on this, and I told them that I would do a review. So this is where we're going to be at. I'll be showing what's coming out of my car. I'll be showing the installation of this shifter and just giving you my overall feedback on it. From what I've seen online, it looks fantastic. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in, and we're just going to open this box up and see what we got inside. And WK Motorsports is based out of Hong Kong as well. So this took about, took me about a week to get it, somewhere around there. I'm more on the East Coast. So, all right, pretty nice package. Set this box aside real quick. This looks very nice so far. Really nice, like hard plastic box that this gets shipped in, kind of like a little briefcase almost. Even you can lock it up if you need to. So pop that open and let's see. All right, well, I did tell them to send me a t-shirt, and it looks like they definitely did this, so I'll be wearing this in a video, probably even later in this video, because this is going to be filmed probably over a couple days. So you might see that shirt popping up. Let's go ahead and get it out of the package real quick and take a look at it. Sent me some decals, it looks like, too. Right, so we've got a really nice logo up front, WK Motorsport, and then on the back, got their shifter on the back. It looks killer. Really like that. So lay that over here, out of the way for a minute, and we're going to get to the real important stuff here in a second. But let's see what these decals look like too. All right, looks like they sent us quite a few decals, and looks like possibly even in some different colors as well. Looks like we might have maybe blue, silver, black. So up here's black, these are silver, and then look, these look like they might be blue. Thank you guys very much for that. I told them to send t-shirts and decals, and they definitely delivered there. So here is the shifter. Got our foam piece we'll take out of the way. Look at that here in a second, but holy smokes, let's flip this around. This looks really good. I'll put that there. Yeah, overall, that looks fantastic. This is going to be such an upgrade from what I have. Now, keep in mind, what I currently have is just the factory shifter box, which is going to be this part down here. Mine is all plastic, and we replaced in a previous video my shifter, like the actual metal rod, and we took that out and replaced that with a different short shift kit. And while that kit does well for, you know, street use, it's done its job. I was really looking for something that was going to put the shifts closer together and just overall give me a better shift feel altogether. And I will tell you that WK Motorsport has not told me anything to say in this video at all. This is going to be my true, unbiased, and honest opinion. So, like I said, the shifter that I've got in there now has done its job. It's been a decent shifter, but it's still, the throw is very long in it, and it really just shortened the height of the shifter, and I needed something that was actually going to tighten the shifts up. So, let's go ahead and pull this out and take a look at it. And this looks to be, this is all solid metal, and very, very nice. All powder coated, or looks to be powder coated from what I can tell. So we've got a nice carbon fiber piece up here, and got their logo right up in there. And overall, the quality on this is just fantastic. They do have this zip tied right here. I'm going to leave that for the time being. Looks like we can maybe adjust something with this one here. Not 100% sure. So once we get in there, we've got a spot for our shifter cables to come in through here. We'll have one that will hook up right down here, and then the other one is going to most likely hook up right up here on this side right over here. So go ahead and show it to you on both sides. So this will be the closest side to the driver, and then this is going to be flipped, and this will be the passenger side. You've got their branding right here with their WK right there. And then this is the front. This is the part that would be the front of the car. And yeah, overall, just really impressed with the quality of this so far. So I'm going to set that over here. And with this kit, they included 4 different shift knobs. So these are their palm, which I believe is like a plastic resin. They're very similar, I believe, to what like Cobb Motorsports has for a lot of Subaru guys, and a lot of people absolutely love the palm style or POM style shifter knob. This one's very nice. They all look to be great quality in all honesty. So you've got some different styles here to pick from. Nice, and we've got this other one too. It looks like a balloon style. So you have your pick there, and then this one, let's see what's in here. This is going to be a heavy boy, I can tell you right now. The box is real heavy on that. So I think this is their metal shifter knob. Yeah, this one is really heavy compared to the other ones. It's very, very high quality, very nice, good weight in your hand. I don't know what that weighs exactly, but it's a decent amount. So any of those that I would pick to put on there, and that's kind of like a trial and error thing once we get it installed in the car to see which one I like the best. Any of those, though, are going to be fantastic, I will say that. So we'll go ahead and jump over to here and see what's in this little accessories packet that they sent. Let's open up in here and see what they got. All right, so we have a red zip tie. I'm sure that might be for something over on the shifter when we need to while we're installing it, if that one breaks. This looks like a little tool of some kind. Maybe it'll probably be included in the instructions here too. So we've got a little shift plate we can put right on our console, which is pretty cool. Looks maybe like a little air freshener, so also solid. This here looks like the instruction kit. We can just scan the QR code and it'll show us how to install it. And then also we've got another decal as well. So all that being said and showing all of this stuff, you can get this kit for your Yaris, and they make it for a few other vehicles as well. The best way to contact them as of right now that I've seen, and this is how I contacted them and was able to get all this shipped to me, is through their Facebook page. It's WK Motorsport. Put a link down in the description down below so that you can easily contact them. Yeah, overall, I am very impressed with the quality of all this stuff that is in this kit. What we're going to do next is I'm going to pull the old shift box out of the Yaris and compare it side by side to this one, so you kind of see what we're getting and why we're doing what we're doing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the Yaris, get the old shifter box removed, and compare it to this one. All right, guys, we're out here in the Yaris right now, and this is the short throw shifter that I had installed in a previous video. What I realized previously, and I think I mentioned this in the other video, was basically this doesn't affect the throw going forward and backward all that much. I believe Joey Razul has done a video on this shifter versus the WK shifter as well, and this even versus the stock shifter. From what I had seen in his video, this only reduced the throw by about 1/2 of an inch, and supposedly with this new WK shifter, it drops it down to 2.5 inches total for the throw. The factory shifter was 4.5, and then this shifter here knocked it down to 4, and then supposedly the WK one will knock it down to 2.5. So we're talking like that should probably be a shift as opposed to that, which may not look like much, but when you're on track doing something like this, the less you have to think about, and you can just move the gear shifter barely and know that it's in the next gear and be able to shift confidently. Just going to make you that much more confident on the track and one less thing to have to worry about. We'll go ahead and get this console removed, and this is like the easiest console in the world. We'll have 2 plugs underneath of here. There's a 10mm bolt right back down in here, and then there's 2 clips that just pop in up here. So what I'll do is I'll remove this bolt here, lift up on this console, unplug these 2. Actually, probably just pop it up. Yep, you can just pop this up, unplug those 2, and then after this bolt back here is out, these are unplugged, this whole console just lifts up and we'll be able to access this. Now, from what I remember, there's 4 bolts that hold this shifter in, so aside from that and disconnecting our cables, it should be pretty easy. I'll video this and go through everything and show you how to install this new WK shifter, and I'll be right back. And just like that, we've got our center console removed. Like I said, it's literally 1 10mm bolt, 2 plugs. This may or may not be on yours. If you don't have power locks, you're probably going to only have 1 plug, and this is specifically for the hatchback NCP91. So hatchback Yaris, 2nd generation. That is where your auxiliary port is going to be for your radio. If you have a super base model, you may not even have that plug. However, if you have power locks and an auxiliary port, you got 2 plugs you have to undo there. They're just, you know, typical push in, pull out type of thing. And then all you have to do is pop your hand underneath the front of the console here and lift up. You've got 2 plastic clips that hold it in up here, and then just lift it up and it's out of the way. So jumping into the shifter, we are going to have 4 12mm bolts that hold the shifter in, and we will go ahead and remove those. We'll have this one little cotter key right down here we'll pull, and then that will allow the shifter linkage to be able to be removed off of this plastic tong. And then once we do that, all we have to do on these, lift these up, you can pull that apart, not break that, set that aside, it's important, and we just rotate these and they will be released. You can just simply rotate this piece right here and lifts up, and then that'll lock right back in when we put these back on. So I'm going to video me removing that, and I will be right back in a minute. Alright guys, so I've got the 4 bolts all removed that hold in the stock shifter box. Thankfully, none of those were seized up or anything. So we removed one here, one right up here, and one right there. And now the shifter box is completely loose. We do have 2 clips that we have to remove to get the shifter cables off. And first and foremost, all we got to do is take your finger in right behind. You're going to pop this little cover up. That comes off, lay that to the side. Do the same thing on this one. Lay that one to the side. And then what we can do, we just turn these clockwise. There's a little collar on the back side. You just turn it clockwise and you're able to lift up on that, and that removes the cable. And then we do the same thing over on this side, which may be easier said than done with one hand, but let's see. We're getting it. Yep. So those are both removed from the box. Now, what I will need to do is pull this cotter key out, which is just this little pin, and then this will allow this cable to come off here. After that, we're going to rotate this box over, and I've got to remove this spring from around this little plastic piece, and that will allow this lower cable to come off as well. Alright, so we'll pull that pin out. We'll lay that guy aside. This should come right off. Okay, that cable is loose. And then this one here, we've got this lower spring. We're going to separate that. Alright, so I've got this off, and basically all you have to do is separate this clip, and that will allow it to be removed. So at that point, we can then bring our shifter up, and aside from one clip that is holding us in over here on a wiring harness that we just lift off, we are all removed now. So, factory shift box with NST shifter removed. We can go ahead and pull these little aftermarket risers that NST gives us as well out, set those aside. And now our new WK Motorsport shifter can go in. Okay guys, so I went ahead and removed the factory shift box with the NST short shifter and just wanted to bring it in and lay it next to the WK shifter, and that way you can kind of see the difference. Overall, obviously there is a height difference, first and foremost. It's pretty apparent. Again, this one simply just dropped the height of the shifter down. Didn't really change the throw all that much. This one is supposed to change the throw quite a bit, to where when you're going from first to second, it's not going to be as far or as much travel as what this one is. Aside from that, you can just kind of tell the overall structure and design of this. This is a plastic cage, and it's plastic. So, solid piece of metal. It's all been TIG welded or MIG welded, I would assume. Welds all look pretty good, and black, from what I can tell, it looks like powder coat. Overall, quality-wise, really nice and pretty well thought out from everything that I've seen so far. This whole shifter mechanism is all metal as well. This is like a carbon fiber sleeve that covers up the metal shaft behind it. Aside from that, go one more view, and this is kind of cool. It's got their logo. Again, this should just make it to where the overall throw and feel of the shift should be a lot better. And this piece here will come off. Set that aside. That piece slides up. This is just like a carbon fiber little tube sleeve, and then this is a metal piece right behind. So if you just want the metal look and you don't want the carbon fiber, you can put this back on, it looks like, and just have it to where it's black. Personally, I kind of like the carbon fiber, so I'm going to slide that back down onto there, put this piece back on, and get this all tightened back up and ready to go into the car. Okay guys, so we're back out in the car. Obviously, I went ahead and just sat the shifter in here. I've got one bolt literally like maybe a quarter of a turn in, if that, just to kind of mock it up so I can adjust and get all my bolt holes lined up. The only thing I did off camera, I took a little bit of white lithium grease and lubed the shifter cables just a little bit, you can see there, just so that we can ensure that it never seizes up or anything like that. So it's going to be a little hard for me to do this with one hand. I'll try to do my best to kind of set up my little tripod over here and angle it right. Basically, all we're going to be doing is turning this, sliding this down into this groove that's right here. This is like a sprung turn style thing, so as soon as you let off of it, it snaps right back. So it's like a self-adjusting type of thing. We'll turn that clockwise, set it down in here, get this lower piece attached with this, that yellow goopy looking thing right there. That piece will sit into this pivot ball right here, which is the shifter itself, and that little clip spring that you see on here will lock around that and keep that locked in. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then aside from that, we're going to get this cable attached back over here, and this one is going to go right up here. This will cut this zip tie off, and that way I'll be able to adjust it as needed. All right, guys, so I got the cables put on. Now we can put our little caps right back on. Now, something I will tell you if you're installing this, you're gonna have to crank these a little bit further, so just keep turning and they'll open up far enough to get over this metal piece. It's just a little bit thicker than stock. When you do go back, like when you let it go, you will have to crank them back down to the left, just to make sure they're good and tight. But then, like I said, we just put our caps right back on here. And those are locked in. Those are not going to go anywhere. So now what I have to do, I've got 2 bolts in currently, just barely finger tight, up front here. And then we've got 2 more to go into the back. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to get this little piece put on here. That will be pretty much it then. So yeah, hang out and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back and I went ahead and bolted down the shifter. It's 4 12mm bolts. You reuse your factory hardware. And I will tell you, just a word to the wise, before you put this shifter cable on, it's the one that's closest to you if you're in a left-hand drive car, you want to go ahead and get everything bolted down, because this shifter cable will be just over this bolt hole. And just to make sure that you can still get your socket on and everything, it just makes life a lot easier if you go ahead and bolt that down before installing the shifter linkage onto this shifter itself. So aside from that, I went ahead and reinstalled the cotter key right down here. We now have this little linkage arm that we have to install. It's kind of an interesting part. I've never seen something quite like it. It has a pin style thing that sets into the, let me see if I can get it to focus. Basically, we're going to remove this little clip that holds this around here. And let me see if I can do it one-handed. Alright, so all we have to do is take this little piece off here. It'll pop all the way down. It comes off. We just set that aside. This one piece here, this little control linkage arm, one side will go up here. The other side will go right down below where the mirrored ball piece is right below. And that should allow us to adjust the wiggle back and forth for like neutral or in between gears. So this one is going to be hard to video. However, I'm going to try. I'm going to go ahead and pull this other clip off this lower part of the linkage arm as well. And then we can adjust the height and everything with this little lock nut. All right, guys, so I've got the little pins removed on the upper and lower, and I just have this set in here. I believe these will kind of push in just like that. And then we'll do the same one up here. I went ahead and adjusted the height of the little shaft rod thing right off of camera. This is going to be adjusted by like a 5/16 wrench, or maybe even like an 8mm, 7mm for this nut. That's just the locking nut. And then all we have to do is put our little piece right back in here. So I'm sorry I had to do it off camera, but the little clip that goes around the locking clip, I didn't want to take a chance and lose it. Just trying to do this with one hand, it was a little hard. So what you do, you pop on the lower one, you pop on the upper one, you just push these on, you adjust the rod height to where they both line up. And then after you pop those on, you put these 2 little locking clips on this arm here, and then you just adjust this nut to where it's locked. And all you do is just take your wrench and you tighten it down. So that is good and tight there. I knew that was already tight, so it was just me showing you what you need to do. That wrench size is a 5/16. Like I said, that might be 7mm, 8mm metric. I'm not sure off the top of my head. However, I can tell you, without even having a shifter knob on this, this is impressive. It's day and night difference from before. There is absolutely no slop. I mean, that's pretty dang impressive. I mean, there is minimal play. Side to side is this, and like in gear, barely anything. Back and forth. It's just day and night's difference from the stock shifter or the short throw shifter. Let me go ahead and grab the shifter knobs that this kit came with as well, and we'll pop these on, see which one I like the best, and give this thing a test drive and see how she does. So these here are considered a palm shift knob. It's basically a plastic resin shift knob. And the cool thing with these is they give you little metal sticker piece that you can put on each one. They just come uninstalled, so you can put the sticker on whatever one you want. And anyway, we'll go ahead and throw this one on first. This one fits really good in the palm of your hand. It does feel very good, and like I said, you're not going to have to worry about it getting super crazy hot in the summer. Obviously it'll be warm, but nothing too crazy compared to that bad boy there. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. And these are an add-on to the shifter. They're a small markup, but you get 3 additional knobs as well. So pretty good deal. Again, really surprised with this, and I promise, like I said in the beginning of this video, it is a sponsored video, but they are not paying me to say any of this. This just has a really good feel. It's not a bad feel for a shifter knob. I could definitely see myself using that one as well. Now, let's see this last one. See what I think of it. This one looks like it sits a little bit lower. Personally, I think out of all of them, this would probably be my least favorite. I have really big hands, so I would rather have a shifter knob that's a little bit larger. And this one sits further down in my hand, so I just have less to grab a hold of when I am shifting. So, moment of truth, let's try this big bad boy here. I see something too. We are going to have to remove this right here in order to be able to put that guy on. So luckily I have a 17mm wrench handy that I just tightened this on. So we'll go ahead and unthread this, set that aside, put this guy on and see how it'll go. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I like the way this feels. In the summer, I would probably run either one of these. However, maybe like on a track day or something like that, I would definitely run this. This is a very nice, heavy-weighted shifter. Like, the throw is, you can just watch. That's me throwing from 3rd to 4th. Just like that. So that extra weight definitely helps. That's the 2nd. And then right up 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So, I never did try reverse. Yeah, reverse is even good too on this shifter. So, overall, any of these shifter knobs, it comes down to a personal preference as to what you personally like. You're not going to be upset with the quality of this kit from anything that I've seen. And then this piece will just screw back down here if you want to run, and then you tighten this down just like this. If you decide you want to run one of these knobs over here. So let's just throw this one back on for the moment. Okay, let's do 3rd to 4th throw again. Again, pretty good. Actually, really good. Comes down to personal preference. Alright guys, I am back from my test drive with the Shifter, and I cannot stress enough how much I would highly recommend the Shifter. The quality overall is just, it's unmatched for anything for the Yaris, I can tell you that. I would definitely pick this over the NST Shifter. The NST short throw shifter, I know I keep going back to that, and I realize that everybody has different budgets for whatever they're working on. However, if you can save up for this, you will not regret it. It's a very, very good product. And again, I am not being paid or told what to say in this video. I did get a discount on the Shifter. However, there's no script or prompts or anything that I have to say about this. Basically, it was, you know, install it, tell us what you think. So this is me telling you, if you are building a Yaris, or I believe they do Mitsubishi Evolution shifters as well, and probably some other cars, check them out, see what they have for your car. This, I'm telling you right now, is a very, very good shifter. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I will have more content coming, especially with more autocrosses coming up, and with some high-performance driving events coming up as well. As always, please consider hitting the like button, and it would mean the world to me if you would hit the subscribe button as well. If you like these videos, please comment down below. And, you know, if you've got questions, or if you want to see me do something with this car or some modification, put it down in the comments down below. Let me know. And anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck on your projects as always, and have a great day.